you as one of the happiest people I know. Why do you think that is?
Well, I'm just about always smiling. If someone sees me not smiling, instantly ask me what's wrong because 99.9% of the time I am smiling. I always got something keeping me, in a really happy mood that I'm thinking about.
So, what things in life make you happy?
Well, obviously, your wonderful self. Playing with little man Jack, thinking about our future together, everything that we've planned, my goals, and, the things that I want to do and accomplish, and the really positive things that I actually want to do for the world. Uh, everything we're going to do together.
In what way do you express gratitude towards the good things in your life?
I can sum that up with one statement. Never take anything for granted. And that's those things that make me happy in my life. I'm going to treat those best that I can and, make sure that they never feel like they are taken for granted, whether it be, the love of my life or one of my best friends or, objects that I have, anything that does make me happy. I'll definitely treat it as best I can.
And do you think that people can choose to be happy?
I do believe happiness to an extent is a choice. You have to choose not to dwell on the bad things. You have to focus on the good things. Circumstance can make people, not happy sometimes, but I do believe that in every, in all the darkness there is light, right? Somewhere.
Yeah. And in what way does being happy have a positive effect on the working world?
Ooh, man, I can definitely tell the difference between a day that I've been negative and upset all day versus a day where I stayed positive. Because, hey, my back doesn't hurt on a day that I stay positive,
Yeah.
If I keep smiling, I definitely feel like, what I'm doing. I like what I'm doing versus, dwelling on every bad thing that happens and letting it all get to me.
And do you feel like going into a work environment where your workers are happy, you tend to have a better day?
Very true.
Maybe even provide better service?
Very, very true. It definitely does work that way.
Yeah. What do you do when you find yourself in a stressful situation?
If it's really bad, stop and take a breath and get that one thought in my head that's going to keep me smiling. For me, honestly, it's you and Jack, 99% of the time. Anytime that something's really bugging me, most of the time at work, I just focus on, or I'll pull out my phone and look at a picture of you guys and just keep thinking about that.
Awesome. Do you believe that your happiness rubs off on others?
Not to keep going back to work, but that's a very good example. Like you said, my employees, when I'm in a good mood, my employees are generally in a good mood. Even if they come in a bad mood, within like an hour or two of being around goofy, crazy Dan, they're in a good mood, and that does definitely trickle down to, making my customers happy, because you'll see it. Somebody comes in having a bad day, and you have the chance to turn their day around just by being happy,
Yeah. And between money and relationships, what do you think has the potential to bring the most happiness?
Now, isn't that an easy question? Definitely relationship side of those two. That's like a very, very, very easy answer.
And why do you think that is?
Well, I like to think money is the root of all evil, honestly. Even if people think it's making them happy, in the long term, it usually doesn't. And, a relationship is one of the greatest examples of happiness, if you ask me.
Awesome. Have you always been this happy?
I think everyone has points in their lives where, things can be rough and people have to learn things about themselves so that they can be happy. But generally, yeah, I've just about always been Mr. Happy Smiley Dan.
Do you believe that genetics can affect up to 50% of your happiness?
I've definitely read research about it. It shows. If you see, the mom that has, the mental disorders that, keeps her stressed out or anxious, the child has a high chance of having, said same disorder. So, I get it definitely plays into it.
All right. Do you strive to be happy, or does it come naturally?
It can be a mix of both. It definitely comes naturally most of the time, but like I keep saying, those rough times do happen to, each and every one of us. And sometimes you have to make that effort. You gotta make that smile happen. And that's okay.
Do you think that happiness and success are related?
I would like to think so. I'd like to think a happy person's gonna make it out there a little bit better than the person that's dwelling on every single bad thing, because honestly that does nothing but pull you down. And when you're optimistic, you kind of tend to see the good things that you can do which is always going to, help you make that next step.
Definitely. Do you think that everyone has the potential to be happy?
I do. I think everyone's got that thing they can find out there that's going to make them truly happy, whether it be, the love of their life, maybe they want to be a pro video gamer or something silly like that, right?
Right. Do you believe your happiness affects how you treat others?
Yeah. I mean, take somebody that's not happy, they're obviously going to, how do I put this? They're not exactly looking to make the people around them smile, so I like to think that, a happy person's generally willing to share that happiness out any way they can.
And what advice would you give someone who was looking for happiness?
Don't look too hard. Let it come to you, and, don't exactly go searching, but, learn what makes you happy and make it a part of your life.
All right, sounds good.